Smack talking raw, where the legends live and the rookies get schooled in law. This ain't just talk. This is smack talking raw. You ready, Pinky? Judge always Ron. Let's lay the smack down. Boom.
What's going on, people? It is Smack Talking Raw. I'm your boy Pinky. We've got our man Ron Stradamus in the house. What up, Ron?
What it is, Pinky Doo? How you doing, baby?
Oh, buddy, I'm ready to rock and roll today. We're gonna have a good show, my friend.
You know what? I'm excited about this particular show because there's a lot to cover from the last time we were on set with each other. So let's get to it, my friend.
Let's get to it.
How was your week?
Oh, it's good, man. Weekend went by way too fast, which, you know, that happens. But football's back. Watched a lot of preseason football. I watched a game like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was in it, baby. So it was good.
Yeah, I'm really excited about our team. You know, the team that represents the orange and blue and white. So anybody that's got a problem with that, later on I'll have 2 words for you. But right now, I'm really excited about what our team has come up with. I don't know if we're a Super Bowl contender quite yet, but we are definitely somebody that's going to be in the hunt for sure.
Ron, Believe, baby. Believe. We are. Believe.
My old Cesaro chant. You know, this has been a miraculous week. I just went past 2 months on my kidney transplant. It went by so fast, and yet it seems like it's not long enough at the same time. I feel incredible, feel fantastic. 2 months, it's always the 10th. So if anybody out there wants to send flowers, letters, comments, or anything like that, bring it, because I'm going to be bringing it too, because I ain't scared, baby. I ain't scared, which is going to lead me into Ron's rant. So I'm going to get right into it. What I've been doing a lot lately, ladies and gentlemen, is I go back and I watch different eras of wrestling, and I'll compare it to what product we have right now. And so I'm going to put the ultimate challenge out there right now. And the challenge is drop a like or comment in regards to what it is I'm talking about. But more importantly, I want to see what your thoughts are too. And that is, there's this dude named Stone Cold Steve Austin. When the glass hit, you knew some stuff was about to go down like right now. And I think about the product that we're putting on the table right now, and I don't really have anything that's like a main course. I have a bunch of sides. I have a bunch of things that just make me I can't really digest the product because it's not something that I would eat as a first part of my meal. Like I want some steak, and I want some rotisserie chicken or something delicious, or chicken cordon bleu or something like that. And what I'm getting is a hot dog from Costco, and it's good. It's good, and it feels and it does the job and everything. But when I compare a hot dog from Costco and chicken cordon bleu or a Ron Young made steak at the house, it just doesn't compare. And so I started thinking about, and this is where my rant starts. We as a culture, we become accustomed to giving participant trophies to people that don't otherwise deserve championships, because we want to play everybody deserves a title, and it takes away the specialness of the stars that are really spectacular. I told you I'll never like him as long as I live because he took the title from my boy, but Seth Rollins is a gifted athlete. And so in that giftedness of Seth Rollins, he gets lost in the shuffle because he's in part of a participant award WWE. TripleH, even though he's given Gunther the title for a long time, even though he did give it to Seth Rollins for a long time, there's all these other people that don't necessarily deserve the run, and they're getting the run, and it's pissing me off because there's no static between people. Monday Night Raw, LA Knight comes out. CM Punk essentially screwed him over, and he's wants to go off, but he's kind of trying to keep it PG and everything like that. Let those boys fight. Let them get really into it. Let them do it right now. And just like face versus face, one of them turns heel or whatever. Let them have at it. But what happens is we're in this 50-50 booking club. And what happens is a lot of people, they're like cheering like, yeah, I don't know. And there's no heat. So when I'm watching Monday Night Raw, when I'm watching SummerSlam was really good. And it was really good for a couple different matches. But the follow-up to SummerBlam blah has been terrible. And the reason why it's been terrible is that there's no continuity. You know, you got Seth Rollins, the Vision Group. Is that what it's called now, Pinky?
The Vision.
So with the Vision Group out there, they're out there. You could tell Braun Breaker, he's the next superstar. He does whatever's asked of him. There's no passion behind him doing what he's doing. He's just like, for example, he's like, you're 47 years old and you're 40. You're almost 100 years old between the two of you. I don't know if you caught that on Monday night.
Yeah.
So that demeans the product a little bit. It's nice. It was a nice little throw in right there. But at the end of the day, it demeans the product. My point is that when Stone Cold Steve Austin's music still hits here today, if his music hit right now and Stone Cold was coming on this very podcast, every single person would just erupt out of their seat and be like, Stone Cold, Stone Cold. Whereas when Seth Rollins, I'm not really feeling that. And in this era, the only person that comes to mind as being like a mega star is Roman Reigns. And so in that space where Roman Reigns was the mega star, what do you really truly remember him for? It's not his in-ring work. It was for him being a manipulative tribal chief. That's the difference. Stone Cold was an ass kicker. Roman Reigns was an I'll stop there. Our rant is over, gentlemen and ladies. Part 2. See you later.
Oh, Ron. It's okay. It'll be okay. But yes,
they'll never be okay.
We need some guys with some heat. But again, we need to build up our superstars to where the audience really has that, that opportunity to really care and get invested and get behind them. We don't have those guys that you absolutely hate. I mean, I think Logan Paul gets the most hate. You've got Drew McIntyre now getting hate. Gunther gets hate because he's so good. But other than that, you don't really have anybody like that the fans really hate. They really get behind and hate. And I think we need to get back to how do we get the audience to hate these guys so that you really care when your guy is wrestling that guy. They want to see the hero win, right? They want the villain to lose. You want the hero to win. And then they really get their blood pressure up when the villain wins. And a lot of that just doesn't happen. And we're all over the place. Villains and babyface heels.
SmackDown, Raw, AEW, whatever, right? They're just all over the place right now. So there's no continuity.
There's too many guys that are like Dom is supposed to be a heel, but the audience is cheering him. You've got there's too much of that in between, and we need to have it more clear. We need to have a clearer picture of, are you a babyface? Are you a heel? I totally agree.
During the Attitude Era, one of the things I noticed is they did a lot of background segments. And in those background segments where they were doing vignettes and stuff like that, first of all, they would have a vignette introducing a new wrestler to the WWE audience. And they'd work it for a few weeks. Next thing, they'd have me and you interacting with each other, talking trash with each other, or we would be a part of the same stable. So we kind of get a look behind the scenes to see, okay, well, this is what Ron and Pinky are working out behind the scenes or whatever. Let's see if that works out. And then either as a comedic heel or a very powerful heel, the thing actually works. And then you start hating them because it's like, well, how come my stuff doesn't work? So then the transference of energy is that, how come my life doesn't work out? I'm a good person. This person's a jerk to everybody and he's getting everything to work out. And that's where the suspension of reality really comes in within the WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and we're missing it right now. So that was a part 2 of the rant, and I'm through with it. So let's get on with what you got to get on with, my friend.
Hey, so we're just a couple weeks out from Clash in Paris. So I think we're going to let that simmer a little bit more. Some matches are starting to be announced and work their way into the story. but we're gonna let that chill for a moment. I thought this would be a good time to talk about the breaking news this week that are, and this is one of the reasons I got back into wrestling. Peacock had gotten the WWE PLEs as well as a lot of their back catalog. So I can just go on Peacock and watch any live event, and then I can watch everything else in the catalog that they have. And they've got tons of stuff on there that I can go back and watch. And that's what kind of really drew me back in to wrestling. Well, TKO sold everything. They sold the live events to ESPN. And it was a $7.7 billion deal for 5 years, I believe. It was the deal. So, what do you think about that, Ron? What are your thoughts?
As soon as WWE, under the tutelage of Vince McMahon and the board that was there before they sold out to TKO, made that decision to sell out, I knew they were going to corporatize this product and make it so that the product, eventually they're preparing it for sale. There's no other rhyme or reason to me for them to make this move, because they want to make it attractive to have another buyer, because everybody knows about the $3 billion in losses that TKO has experienced since undertaking the WWE and other expenses that they have as a company. But I just really feel that they're posturing and positioning this to be a sell to maybe Saudi Arabia, maybe to Tony Khan at some point in time, maybe even back to Vince McMahon. But the thing that I just realized when they went to $29.99, that's $565 a year that you're spending on pay-per-views. And that's back to the old model of what we used to do when we used to buy pay-per-views when I was a kid. And I just don't know if that model works. There's obviously going to be wrestling fans that dive into it. And there's obviously people are going to spend the money because they're going to be, it's like a hell of a lot cheaper to go to the program on ESPN than going to the live show. And that's another sad part of it, is that they're pricing themselves out of the true authentic fan, and they're making every event the Super Bowl. When you go to the Super Bowl, that's not a fans event, that's a corporate event where corporate heads go, they sit out there, they could care less what's going on the field. You can tell that in the momentum of the game, etc. So I just don't want WWE to become that. I don't want it to become COVID 25, to where the wrestlers are in the ring and they're not getting any response and they're just like half-assing it, because that'll just kill the sport.
So I misspoke. It wasn't 7. It's $325 million a year. The $7.7 billion was TKO sold the rights for UFC pay-per-views to Paramount and CBS. That was the 7.7. So TKO has done some work in the last 2 weeks in getting deals in place for showing off the UFC and WWE. So we'll see. Thankfully, if you already have ESPN as part of your cable, or I have YouTube TV, ESPN is on YouTube TV, it will be on YouTube TV. I do not have to pay an extra $30 a month for the ESPN part of it. So
Pinky, you get to call where we're watching it from now on, friend, because I'm not spending the money, because I'm not happy with the WWE product right now. And it like all of a sudden they have Hulk Hogan come back and fight the Ultimate Warrior somehow. I'm going to watch that fight. If they have it somehow happen, I'll be there to watch it, right? But for the most part, I just look at it like this. Right now, they got to get the product better. It's a bold move on the WWE's part to have a $29.99 price tag per event. That's crazy.
So it's not per event; it's per month, though. It's a subscription charge,
right?
So it's not.
So essentially, if you're a WWE fan and you haven't had this before, you can call it subscription charge to watch all the other stuff, but it's a $29.99 fee to watch WWE programming on ESPN.
Yeah, and this is a shame. This is the same thing that NFL fans are dealing with now too, because NFL games are streamed on Netflix, on Prime, on Peacock, Paramount. I think has the CBS games as well. So you have to have multiple streaming services if you want to watch every single game available, at least all the primetime games. So it's definitely the squeeze is on. They're squeezing us. It's we stopped getting cable to save some money, and now we've got all these streaming services. And now I'm not saving any money anymore.
So and one more thing I want to add that's off topic with that in mind. Get some crypto, guys. Get some crypto. Our president of the United States, a WWE Hall of Famer, just had a big rant about crypto a week and a half ago, and most people missed it. It just like kind of went under radar. Learn about crypto, understand about crypto, and get yourself invested in it. And I'm not talking about just Bitcoin. I'm talking, there's a lot of different things that I'm not a financial planner or advisor. I have my plays that I've made. I'm just letting everybody else know, don't get left out. This is a big moment. Okay, go ahead. So there's that.
Absolutely true, my friend. All right. So we'll move on from that. And then we had another big event happen. And I think one of the things that I wanted to make sure to discuss with you, since we had some downtime, is, and I know we kind of don't share the same opinion here, but the Netflix show UnREAL was dropped at the end of July. And I know we differ our opinion on it. So what do you think about the show, Ron?
Man, you talk about taking a room in church and farting in it and walking into that sucker. It's like I was really excited about it. And all of a sudden I walk in the room and it's like, ugh, I don't want to, like, I know what it is, right? But I want to suspend reality. That's why chicks watch soap operas, Housewives of Bel-Air, and all that sort of stuff. I want to, as a wrestling fan, I want to believe that CM Punk and that other ass really hate each other, and they do. So I'm suspended in reality to think anyway. And the thing that I just want to, an UnREAL, you get a chance to see Jey Uso, and you get a chance to hear Triple H as I'm getting ready to strap a rocket ship to your back and everything like that. I kind of want to feel like Jey is the underdog. I kind of want to feel, I don't like, because now that part is over, right? If he comes again in the future and he starts battling for the championship, I won't feel the same about him being in that space. So the way that they're revealing UnREAL, it makes it so that everything becomes unreal, because I can't take in the next story seriously because I know somebody's back there writing it, and not even well. What's your take?
Well, I loved it. I had a blast. And I could see where some folks have a really big issue with it, right? You don't want to see some of the things behind the scenes of, CM Punk hates Seth Rollins. Well, it's CM Punk that actually came up with the finish of Elimination Chamber, which was great. And that was, for me, I felt that was really cool to see that, not a producer, not a writer, CM Punk came up with the finish. Now, I think when you come up with a finish like that of, hey, I'm going to be here, I've already eliminated you, you're going to come over and stomp me out, then you're going to yell obscenities to me while John Cena's tapping me out with the clutch here. That was a really great moment. I enjoyed the fact that he's the one that came up with that. He pitched it and it worked. It was flawless. I think I like to know how they do some of those things. For me, it was cool to learn a little bit about how in Gorilla, right? Which I know what Gorilla was before I watched the show, but some folks who are new may not understand what that meant. But I like to learn that, the ref is being communicated with from the producers, letting them know, hey, do this. Hey, make sure of this. Check on this. And they're kind of keeping the match moving from that. which again is still a hard thing to make something fake, predetermined, look real. And that's what I thought was really interesting for me. How do they make this look so real? And I think some folks need that, like, that understanding of, yes, it's predetermined. Yes, it's fake. But I think when it talked about, when Rhea Ripley is talking about her injuries and you're talking about it, like, you can actually see, like, this stuff is real. It is physical and it hurts. It's not just, oh, they punched me 15 times, but I didn't really get punched. That might be true, but you still went through a table. I don't care who you are. If you go through a table, you're still going to feel it the next day. So those are things that I really enjoyed about UnREAL. I thought it was great. I enjoyed it, but I could see if they kept it more about the behind the scenes of each wrestler, where you got to see them a little bit more in their personal life. You got to see them more talk about their struggles, like Rhea Ripley talking about how she deals with a lot of anxiety. But her music hits, and now she's Rhea Ripley, right? She's able to flip that switch. Those are things I thought anybody could enjoy, even the old wrestling heads like you.
Well, one of the things they could have done with this show, and it would have made it the same concept, but just like the Bella Twins, when they were doing the E Network, the Total Divas.
Yeah.
They could have had a total wrestling like reality show, like the whole WWE, and they could have told the same story, but it would have suspended some of the reality for a minute because it was a TV show. Right. This was a TV show, but it was intentional to. All right, so this is my house, right? So this is my house. That's my lamp right there. That's my messy desk. That's everything. That's something I'm looking at right there. This is me. This is me, right? And that's what they wanted to do with this. It's like, see me. It's not about you, Triple H. It's not about you, Michael Hayes. It's not about you, all these people that are writing in the back. It's about the product. And if you start giving the product away for free, but charging a price tag on it, what's the difference between that and prostitution?
Well, typically a happy ending, but yeah.
Well, right now we're not even getting the happy ending. So there's that. For anybody under the age of 18 years old, I'm sorry about saying prostitution, but it is what it is. Sorry about it. So, you know what? I hate on the product, and I always play the bad guy of that because you're the nice guy on that. I just, when I think about the product right now, I just think that we're doing everything in our power to make it so that people don't like the product. Because if I know that you're writing the story and that my guy doesn't really hate the other guy or whatever the case may be, what's the point watching? There's got to be some suspense of, like, I remember the Horsemen. I remember Dusty Rhodes was in a parking lot and they shot it so beautifully. There's dust flying everywhere. And here comes Arn Anderson, Tully Anderson, and Ric Flair. And they come up, and then out from behind the camera comes Ole Anderson. And they're taking a baseball bat to Dusty Rhodes. He comes out with a broken arm. And he comes out limping and he comes out and he's swinging his crutch at the Horsemen and everything like that. Because he was so pissed off that they had beat his ass like that, right? 12 years old, I lost my mind. I was like, this is what I'm talking about. But now we get like a pseudo CM Punk jumps out of the crowd somehow to jump on Seth Rollins and all that sort of stuff. And
they've toned down the violence, Ron. They've toned down the violence. And again, as long as this is corporate and share prices matter, I don't know how violent we're going to get, unfortunately. I don't know how they're going to change the stories that they're telling. So I think if you are a old school wrestling head, you will absolutely hate this show. I feel like if you're new to wrestling, I think you would enjoy it because you get a little bit of the behind the scenes of each character. The top guys, Cody, Jay, Cena, Rhea, Charlotte. So you get some of those top guys and you get to you get to learn a little bit more about them, their personality, how they do what they do. Bianca, they had a good special on Bianca, talking about her making all her ring gear and stuff. So I think it's good, but I could see where for the average fan, knowing a little bit more gives them that like, hey, this is still real. For someone like yourself who's been in this for 30 years, you already know the game. You already
40.
know how 40. You know how it works. So again, this show's not, in this case, probably not for you. It's not for your audience, right?
Right. It doesn't wet my palate that way. I was sitting there and I was thinking about how they develop characters over time. And we talk about it a lot about how come the product isn't over right now. And I think we're a generation away from having that next breakout superstar. Paul Heyman keeps mentioning Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker main eventing WrestleMania 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, etc. I think that he's going to be in that position. And what me as an old schooler is always going to look back to is Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, in my opinion, the greatest of all time. From 85 to 87, that dude could do no wrong. Hey, brother, say your prayers, eat your vitamins. And dude, he came on TV. He came on TV less than Roman Reigns. But when he came on TV, you were like this because that man would come out. The entire audience would lose their damn mind. And he had the best music behind him. I am a real, everybody was like into it. I saw him 7 times at the LA Sports Arena in LA. And I actually saw him when he and Ric Flair fought for the very first time in WWF. And that was cool. And I caught Mr. Perfect's gum. He spit it out of his mouth, and I was sitting in the 5th row, and I caught his gum that same match. But anyway, I should have kept it. I could have used the DNA on it. I'd be rich right now. Anyway, so Hogan, Savage, Piper, all those guys had something in common. They had it. In this era of wrestling right now, we have a lot of people that have it, but aren't doing with it.
But is that them or is that Triple H?
That's what I'm saying. I like watching UnREAL. I can see that it's Triple H, and I can see where people are creatively frustrated too, because as a superstar, if you want to go to that next level, you've got to be willing to take a risk. And Vince McMahon used to always talk about it. I want to see that ruthless aggression. I want to see you want that brass ring, and people just kind of acquire it. There's nobody that's taken it, with the exception of Gunther. Gunther's been one of those people that's gone out there and he says, I'm a great wrestler. I'm going to get out here and talk trash. And you want to come out here and try to take me out? Come on with it. Any one of you guys.
Yeah,
anyway.
Gunther's on a whole different level. It's definitely the characters, but I do think there's a couple that have it. But then it's also like building that story for them, building that hatred or that love for them. We talked about it last week. I was super mad Stephanie Vaquera was in a dark match on Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam because she wasn't on SummerSlam. Somehow, one of your biggest young stars doesn't get on SummerSlam. And then, on top of that, on Monday night, you have her in a dark match when she already has a title match at Clash in Paris. Like, that just makes no sense. Shouldn't she have been out there? Like, this Raw. What did she do this Raw? She came out and had a 5-second little blurb.
They're trying not to overexpose her as the story that I make up because of the fact that she doesn't have the English language down very well, etc. So they make her little spot fees, but they're missing out on the whole thing. Booker T already built her to be a superstar because of his interaction with her down in NXT. So you capitalize on that by, oh, well, Booker T used to do this, so now I'm going to do the and then you have Booker T every once in a while cameo on Monday Night Raw, and then he gives man, I just could book this all day long. Triple H, if you ever need anybody to be in your creative that can be really creative to get you some great matches and stuff like that, you could get rid of 199 salaries. Me and you, we could do it, bro.
You know, and I'd probably do it for less. I wouldn't need a whole lot. It's so finishing up Unreal. I know again that wasn't your cup of tea. I enjoy it. I think it was a fun show. The other show that's going on right now that I wanted to get your opinion, since we have both finished this show, LFG, or as Shawn Michaels says, let's effing go.
That's right. That's
Let's
right. Ding, ding,
effing
ding,
go.
ding, 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 ding. What a great way to showcase wrestlers that have been inside of the Performance Center and really give them the opportunity to be able to showcase their talents on TV with collective criticism. I have not seen a better product within the WWE environment from their under schools, from their territory type product, because it's really giving people the opportunity to see them in their most rawest form. Like, they don't know how to do an arm drag, they don't know how to do a body slam, they don't know how to do the match sequence, they don't know how to be in a right character, they don't know how to do all these things. And to see them go from that spot to being able to put on a full match and being able like, ooh, I'm not sure which one of these two is the better of the two. That's an incredible gift that Shawn Michaels and the WWE has given those guys. I really love LFG. How about you?
Oh, dude, I was in. And I think they do. So I think they found the one thing I really enjoyed is from the start, every single person there has got tremendous athletic ability. Athletic ability is not an issue for any of those kids they had on that show. They've all got it. Some have more than others, but they all had something that made them special athletically. But there you could tell a big difference between who had characters, and again, the best one to come out of that so far is Jasper Troy, right? He basically stopped the show, went right on to NXT, and immediately, like within 2 weeks of being on NXT, he had a title match against Obafemi. And what did he do? He hit Obafemi, dropped him on a car before the show that night to weaken him up. And then they had this match that, again, Obafemi had to overcome that injury. And so you had that moment of like, oh my God, Jasper Troy's going to win. And then Obafemi pulled it out, right? They made us care. They made us feel about it. And maybe Shawn Michaels is better at this than Triple H, maybe. I feel like you could argue. NXT is enjoyable. I really enjoy watching NXT every week. Some weeks are better than others, just like Raw and SmackDown. But for the most part, I think NXT has been better overall.
Yeah, LFG is one of those programs that as a novice fan or as an experienced fan, you get a chance to take a look at the future and you get to start to develop some of your favorites as they make it through the progression from the beginning, right? So I'm really excited about what Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker and Michelle McCool and all the others, Bully Ray and Booker T are doing with regards to LFG.
I think season 2 is almost done. So once season 2 is done, I'll buy it on Prime and watch it. Jasper Troy was great. Xena Starling, that girl's a superstar, dude.
At first, I did not like her because she played the goofy character, and every time she did something, she would hold her arm and be in a space that, like, she was like, "Ow, my arm," and then she would like take the said arm and start doing something with it. It's like, no, completely. If you have something wrong with the arm, sell the arm, sell the arm, sell the arm, sell the arm. But she didn't quite get it. But towards the end, she's magnificent, 100%.
Yeah, and I liked when she got more away from the ditzy blonde. Like, I don't think she needed to be the ditzy blonde. She's on the show. She was only 20 years old.
Wow.
So she's definitely 21 now because the show was filmed last year. But 20 years old, man. And like you could just tell as Bubba Ray worked with her more and more. I mean, I was like, damn. The girl that beat her in the finals, I don't know if that girl wins if Xena hadn't had a busted knee.
Right. Exactly.
They made her go out, and Tyra May Steele, she's cool. I don't get, like, I didn't feel it from her though. To me, she's a jobber.
Right.
You know, she doesn't have the charisma of Kurt Angle, and you know, Kurt Angle had a lot. He could come out and be mean. He could come out and be a perfectionist. He could come out and be goofy and funny. Like that dude, his range as an actor was amazing.
Was so amazing. So
And
amazing.
so-
Go ahead.
Her character kind of piggybacking on the Olympic. I won an Olympic gold medal and trying to be that character. She's going up against Kurt Angle, who set a precedent and set a standard. And when you try, if you're not quite up to that, like that's the wrong character for her, in my opinion.
Well, I think that with her, I think that if they give her enough time, because they gave Kurt Angle 18 months before when he transitioned out of the Greco-Roman style wrestling to actually debuting in WWE, they gave him 18 months. So he had a long time. And so this Tyra May Steele, she's only been in it for like less than a year at the time of LFG 1 being taken on. So give her some time. She'll develop her character. They'll have her watch videos, hopefully, of Kurt, and she'll start to develop her character.
She quickly moved from NXT to Evolve very quickly. He did not last on NXT very long.
Well, one of my people that if he wouldn't have been in the same season as Jasper Troy, Shiloh, that dude is incredible. He has the Wyatt family virtues. I just love his in-ring work. I love how he can turn it on and turn it off. Like, I'm really pissed, right? He really has all of the things in regards to.
He got those crazy eyes, and he just like he'd be normal, and then all of a sudden he'd snap, and you'd be like, oh damn. So yeah, I see a lot of good stuff for that kid too. I mean, they were all of them. Underdog one, Elijah Holyfield. Man, that kid, that was his first week.
Wow.
First week at the Performance Center. And he, like, by the end, he was doing matches and looked fine. Like, great. So, yeah, LFG is a really fun show for everyone.
Yeah, if you're watching this and you haven't seen LFG, we didn't expose who won or anything like that. We just talked about some of our favorites. And I think the key thing is if you want to see how the future is going to progress, NXT is one hotbed that gets out there because you get the opportunity to see wrestlers that are just this close to getting there. LFG is the future. That is bona fide. You're getting 20-year-olds to 25-year-olds that are somewhere in their infancy of learning the professional wrestling business, and they're willing to take whatever risk is necessary in order to get there. So definitely I would promote that to watch that for sure.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Before we move on to what's happening, I did want to say there was some news that came out today that hasn't been official, but it sounds like Naomi is going to be out for a while. She was pulled from Raw last night. Could be another work, right? Now we're like, oh, she wasn't hurt. What's the problem? But she had been pulled from Raw last night when she was the main event.
I think that that's something that might be more real than not real, according to like what I was reading and stuff like that. I actually physically, when you were like, ooh, Seth Rollins is gone and da-da-da, I was like, I watched the match and I've watched Seth Rollins do that same move thousands of times. And he did it the same way he always does it. Naomi, I didn't see her do anything that was out of the ordinary. So I think that she may have gotten hurt somewhere in training or something like that. And that's going to cause a little conundrum because she's supposed to be defending the title against my girl, Stephanie Vaquer, in Paris. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
Yeah. So it's, I I mean, a lot of the rumors are is that she's pregnant. And I want to say last year, she did mention that she was looking to take some time off because they were looking to start a family at some point.
Wow.
So then
After you win the World Heavyweight Championship, you decide that you want to be a mom.
well, I mean, I know how all my kids happened, but I didn't sit with a calendar and plan them. I'm just saying.
That was the 5-second rule, bro. You could have taken them back out.
That's not how it works, Ron. That's not how it works.
Maybe not in your household, but that's a OnlyFans page or anything like that. Anyway.
So Jimmy did not proceed with caution.
Right. Good.
Little too much fun at Evolution, right? Or whenever.
So if she has to drop the title, right? So do they have Rhea or do they have a number one contender match to fight against Stephanie Vaquer so that they can have a vacated title match or something like that? What do they do?
I mean, I think they could put Stephanie, Io, and Rhea in a three-way, or they could do Stephanie and Rhea. They've been kind of teasing that, right? But they've also Io and Stephanie had some good matches as well. I have a hard time thinking they would let Rhea or Stephanie. I just feel like they would throw Io in there. But now, again, we've seen so many of these triple threats recently with the women that now that kind of gets old if we do it every time, right?
Right.
So we might need to change it up. All I know is my girl Stephanie better get her match, and she better have that gold when she walks out of Paris because it's time. It's time, baby.
As I'm thinking about this, every World Heavyweight Championship bout should be a street fights rule, because the Cena and Cody Rhodes match, it pitted two baby faces against each other, and it just made the match outcome so much better. When we're having a traditional match and there's run-ins and all this sort of stuff, that's expected in a World Heavyweight title match nowadays. It's terrible. Because if you're not supposed to have a run-in, why do you have run-ins? Well, if you have a street fight match, then you can expect those kind of things, and then it doesn't take away and make the matches right.
Nothing's worse than a disqualification.
Right. So,
which we've had a lot of that recently as well.
A lot of that. I just really, looking back at Naomi, I'm really excited the fact that she's become our champion. The reason why I'm excited that because for a bunch of years, she was just window dressing in the background. And then all of a sudden, she makes the Money in the Bank briefcase relevant all of a sudden because she gets into one of the best matches already with Io and Rhea. And nobody's thinking about it because she got dominated earlier in the night. And then all of a sudden, she comes running down to the ring with the briefcase, and nobody expected her to cash in that match. So that made that match instant classic right away.
Her cash in was awesome. And I also she had been a worker for a long time, and I think she's done some of her best work. Her character has been hilarious. She such a good heel right now. So it'd be tough if she has to step away for a while. If she's pregnant, I mean, happy for her and Jimmy. You know, we all know what it's like to be a parent. We all know that the pride and the love that you get from having kids. So it just kind of sucks if that's the case, because again, she was in her moment, and to lose that moment, you know, that'd be tough.
Trinity and John, if you need a babysitter, I'm here for it. I ain't gonna even charge you that much. Come on with it.
I'm sure they've got enough cousins and Fatus and Usos, and they've got more than enough family to babysit. But you know,
they're going to be trying. They're going to be trying to get that person into a wrestling ring. So you want safety? Give them to me. I will take care of them for sure.
So that was a bit of big news. What did we have the last two? We had SmackDown and we had Raw. Is there anything that stood out from either one for you, Ron?
So the CM Punk LA Knight angle. So another rant. So if I'm CM Punk, right? I've had title matches against John Cena. I actually won the title against Gunther, and I want to have my legacy be pure. He needs to turn heel, and he needs to turn heel like quickly, because what he needs to be is like frustrated. Like, I've done everything the right way as I know to do, and that didn't work for me. I got a world title for 5 minutes and 9 seconds, got screwed out of it, and he's got to turn heel. So in this rivalry that he's got going on with LA Knight, he's got to get really clear as a character that that's his upward arc, because either LA Knight goes up or CM Punk goes up, which if CM Punk goes down, he's going to continue to go down because he goes down the rings of the ladder. So I would like to see CM Punk turn heel. And I would like to see him do something really dastardly and to a point to where everybody hates him as much as they love him at this time. So when his music goes off, people are like, boo, like as and then I'll be cheering because I'll be like, I called it. Yeah. But that's one of the things that stood out to me is like CM Punk and LA Knight right now, they're currently playing nice with each other. It's probably a long-term storytelling by Triple H to build this tension between LA Knight and CM Punk. But I just really feel like if I'm CM Punk, the story that's being told is, since he came back to WWE almost 2 years ago, he hasn't been put in the title front-running scene at this moment. When he's gotten title shots, he's gotten screwed over by Seth Rollins. He's gotten, him and Drew McIntyre were in a series of matches for 6 months, right? So we have all these different things, and it's like, what's next for your character arc, CM Punk? So if I'm writing it, I'm turning him heel so he can be immediately in the top tier of like, I'm watching you, Seth. I don't have the money in the bank, but you're going to feel like I do. Because every time you go out there to fight, I'm going to go out there to kick your ass.
He's so over with the fans, though. I don't even know how you can make people hate him at this point. Like, he's just, I can't even see him getting booed.
That's the thing, is that in a real wrestling type situation, you got to have him, like, you got to build LA Knight. LA Knight, he beat Seth Rollins. He got disqualified because of CM Punk. They build another match between him, and then Roman Reigns gets behind LA Knight, and then all of a sudden CM Punk is like, this is stupid, and he just kicks both of their butts or whatever the case may be. Like, there's a lot of different ways to get that character arc to where CM Punk turns heel. He needs to turn heel because his character as a babyface, he came out on Monday Night Raw, and he stood out there and everybody's cheering his name, and he's like, CM Punk, CM. You could see inside of his face, he's like, here I am growing an afro, and see, for those of you that ain't paying attention, I got some quiet humor. I'm not always just an ass, but I keep it real. He's out there with the afro, and he's out there doing his thing, and it's like, right now I want to hate him for a little bit. I want him to get back to some of his AEW features and some of his old school Nexus tendencies and stuff like that. I want to get him back into the dark side of him for a little while. His ROH time. I want to have him be that guy for a little bit, because the nice guy CM Punk ain't winning nothing, and that ain't no good for professional wrestling.
Right. I will say I do dig. It's making me laugh. I do like the Shula Fala, the tribal thief. I am kind of digging that. I know at first I was like, that's kind of goofy, but then I was just like, actually, that's kind of funny. He took Roman Jordans. He didn't just take his shoes; he took his Jordans.
Jordans, right?
Like those are damn nice shoes, and And then him just displaying them and making Paul Heyman hold them while he's wrestling. And yeah, I'm digging that. That was fun. I thought that I liked the way that ended, where LA Knight, CM Punk beat the crap out of them. They leave the ring, and then and Jey Uso came out and helped, and then all of a sudden LA Knight and CM Punk start fighting, which then the Vision come back, seeing that, oh, they're not paying attention to us no more. They come in and they just start beating the crap out of them all, and then Seth Rollins foot stomps everybody. I dug that. I thought that was a good way to really start to continue to make the Vision strong and villains, right? That's what we need. We need them just to randomly beat ass. Like, that's what's got to happen. No rhyme or reason. We just came out and beat his ass. That's what we need. So I enjoyed that part. I'm trying to think from SmackDown if there was anything else. The only thing that I thought from SmackDown was, man, when John Cena's music hits, the color, he's excited, he's jumping around, he's smiling. That just makes me feel good, man. That just makes me feel good. It feels right. And I liked Cena being a heel. But seeing Cena jump around, have fun, and smile, that brings a warm smile to my heart. So I was digging that.
I just I get the warm fuzzies. I love that John Cena's a face again. How they turned him face is kind of weird, but he's a face. There's just a not connecting the dots, man. And I'm trying to connect the dots, right? Because like I'll give you for example. See, I'm a wrestling historian, right? So Magnum TA, he was a wrestler in Jim Crockett Promotions, also known as the NWA, back in the early 80s. He was slated to become the next NWA World Heavyweight Champion over Nature Boy Ric Flair, but he unfortunately got into a car accident to where he wrapped his Porsche around a light pole doing about 90 miles an hour to where it ended his wrestling career forever. During that time, Magnum TA and Dusty Rhodes, Cody Rhodes' his father, for those of you that aren't paying attention, they were in a feud with the Russians at that time. And so after Magnum's injury to where it cost him his career and everything like that, NWA was faced with a dilemma. What do we do? So instead of like missing a beat, all of a sudden, Nikita and Ivan start having a little bit of dilemma with each other. And then they're in the Omni in Atlanta. And all of a sudden, Dusty Rhodes comes out and he waves to the back, and out with him comes Nikita Koloff to fight against Ivan Koloff and Crusher Khrushchev. And so one of the things about continuity of the story is the dots have to line up. Because if all of a sudden Jey Uso is coming to fight with LA Knight, who's fighting with CM Punk, who they were just fighting and everything like that. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
The dots don't line up. And so if the dots don't line up, guess what? I don't care. Because what I'm looking for inside of the show is what can I latch on to and care about. If I don't care about the story, then my numbers on Netflix suck. My numbers on ESPN will suck because I'm not going to spend money for something that sucks.
Very true, Ron. Very true. Was there anything else? Oh, I mean, Drew McIntyre giving Cody a Claymore on the outside. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I think we're going to get a Cody Drew Clash in Paris. I don't think that's been announced yet. They did announce Logan Paul versus Cena at Clash in Paris. Actually, let me ask you that. That's a good one. We'll end the show on that. So the internet community is up in arms about this. That we have limited matches on Cena's retirement tour, and Logan Paul is getting one of them. What do you think?
I think that's genius. Logan Paul is an incredible all of it. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's just really new into his career. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer when he comes through. He's one of the few things inside of WWE that I really appreciate and like right now, because he made the jump better than the Miz did when Miz came over from the real world over to WWE. He was just a podcaster, and he's come over and he actually has athleticism. He's got the mouthpiece. He's got the heat of the fans. He's got the ability to be able to back up what he's talking about. And I could go on and on. Let Logan Paul just be. That's one of the jewels of the WWE right now.
So I love Logan Paul as well. I don't have as much hatred for him as some people do. Some of his things he's done outside of wrestling or just in his own podcasting life. A lot of people still getting on him about that stuff in Japan. That didn't affect me any. But again, everybody's different. So everybody gets offended at different things, right? But he is really damn good wrestling. Really damn good. And my thought is, if John Cena wants to wrestle Logan Paul for one of his retirement matches, who is anybody in the internet community to say anything?
Right.
John Cena's picking his opponents. Like, nobody else is doing it. Triple H told him, whatever you want to tell that story for the last year, I'm giving you the reins. And he's like, yeah, I can go to John Cena and tell him, hey, we want to do this. But I asked, hey, John, like, what do you think? Because he really wants John involved in this last, 4 or 5 matches left. I think John Cena does truly believe Logan Paul is awesome and a great wrestler. And I think they could put on a really good show together. I got to feel, and again, I think we talked about it. Logan Paul can eat a pin anytime. He's the bad guy.
Right.
So, of course. But he can also eat a pin, go away for a month, and then come back, and nobody realizes he was gone. He just comes back, starts a new story, starts talking shit to Jelly Roll, starts being a dick like he is, and everybody's like, "It's wow! I didn't even realize Logan Paul was gone for a month."
Right. It's like he never left. That's for sure. The last thing that I would like to add to this, and I'm calling this, if I was a WWE writer, and I kind of am because I put this out on the internet so it can start to have a little spill. So John Cena and The Rock in his last match on Saturday night's main event. You were asking how you turned CM Punk heel. The biggest match ever on Saturday night's main event. And down to ringside comes CM Punk, who's had issue with The Rock and John Cena. And he causes John Cena to lose his last match to The Rock, sending him off into retirement. The greatest heel turn of all time.
I don't know if they can pay The Rock enough to do that, but that sounds awesome.
The greatest heel turn of all time. It moves everything forward.
Should I hit Triple H up on Twitter? Hey, Triple H, I got an idea for you. I can't take credit. My buddy Ron came up with it.
Just send him our reel and just let him know that it's already been predicted, brother. Hey, Triple H, I'm available for a small fee, bro. Anything that you want us to do here on WWE to get people butts in the seat, pay your $29.99 a month. You see, I come up with ideas every single week. And that's the bottom line because Ron Young said so. So if we got 2 words for you, and we're going to get ready to end this segment, that if you're not liking what we're putting down on Smack Talking Raw, we got 2 words for you. Vicky?
Suck it! Till next week, guys.
Next week. All right.